So Bill Maher is becoming a pretty big advocate now of disclosure and acknowledgement, at least in his belief, that this is not just technology from other countries, other places, ours. He thinks there's a lot more than that. And I think he's always had questions, but I think Age of Disclosure is one of those things that he's one of the people that movie really affected, as we have talked about, that was going to be a gateway to a lot of people asking questions. And as we've talked about many times on this show and with other people, that when people with bigger platforms, bigger reach, start talking about this thing, it's going to have an impact. I have seen many people discussing what I'm about to show you guys here today. And my friend, if you guys have been following for a while, Mark Riley, who used to co-host UAP Tuesdays with me, that's kind of started this whole thing, he reached out and he said, look, check this out. Bill Maher's kind of all in right now. And he did like a whole big thing at the very end of Real Time. So what I'm going to do, normally I'll just kind of show the clip and we discuss it afterwards, but it's a longer clip. It's like 8 minutes. So what I think what we're going to do here is we're going to start with it. I'm going to put myself in the bottom of the screen. Maybe we'll do some pauses, do some commentary on it, if there's so the things that are kind of really relevant. And then I definitely want to get your thoughts on it, because what I did see afterwards, and you knew this was going to happen too, there were a lot of people who wrote that a lot of the things that Bill discussed have been debunked. There's other things that he is not necessarily saying is factual. A lot of the naysayers. There are some people who just are asking legitimate questions, and then there's the Mick West balloon people who there are some people who ask legit questions like, well, wait a minute, hold on, and then there's people who just their job is to just no matter what you say, you could have coffee with an alien and they'll say, oh, that's someone in a costume. So there's some of you just don't listen to and you ignore. There's other people that are asking legitimate questions that you pay attention to, and I did see some of those people asking follow-ups to Maher's thing. But let's go to Maher. Let's listen to what he said, and then we'll discuss it. Well, I guess we'll discuss it while it's going on. Here, check it out.
And finally, new rule, given the increasing number in recent years of sightings by serious military personnel of unknown aircraft operating outside our current abilities, if at this point you don't believe aliens are here and observing us, maybe you're the conspiracy theorist.
It's a great hat.
Now,
I wonder how everyone in that crowd was feeling, though.
in the past, when it came to alien life, I was like a liberal college girl whose roommate is a lesbian. Not sold on it, but open to the possibility.
Okay, right there is what I meant. So there's a lot of people with that philosophy right now. And, you're joking to get to it, but basically, okay, I'm not like saying no. I can't even tell you how many people. I believe there's other things out there because I don't want to feel ignorant, rightfully so, saying, oh, of course there's life out there. Of course there's other stuff. I just don't know if it's here. And what I've always said, and I try to stay away from a lot of the conversations too, because it gets combative. It's like, well, you just don't have the right information. You just don't have enough acknowledgement in it. Like I have a good friend of mine that I just stuff with, and when I tell him, you're just not as educated into it, all the stuff that's been going on, he's like, I've been following this longer than you have. And I'm like, it's not what I meant. What I meant is that there's other things and other pieces of information that you don't even realize are out there because there's just so much of it. And it looks like that's what Age of Disclosure did for Bill Maher. So let's keep going. All right, so if you've been following my journey, I've been really hitting the gym for the last year or so, and making sure, as I get older, that I'm doing things right. And I was feeling the change as I was getting older, and everything that was easy beforehand, it just wasn't anymore. I don't really talk about it a lot, but I guess I should talk about it now. I think it started to really hit me about 5 years ago. And now, even as I was starting to work out, I could feel it. It didn't matter if I was eating well or whatever. I felt like sometimes I was just kind of, slugging along. And nobody really tells you about it as you get older. One day you're crushing it. Next day you're wondering why everything feels twice as hard. And I think some people your testosterone, it lowers as you get older. And here's the thing. Most men start losing testosterone around age 30. About 1% every year after that. So when the new year hit this year, I was like, wait a minute. I got to feel energized again. I don't want to feel worn down. I got this pilot coming up. I want to really hit these things hard. So I keep it simple, and I'm doing something natural that supports my body where I need it. And that was why I was excited to hear about Maher's Men. What is it? It helps your body unlock usable testosterone so you can feel like yourself again. Because what I learned about it was that your body makes testosterone, but a lot of it gets locked up and it can't be used. And there's a protein called SHBG. It basically handcuffs your testosterone. Even if your body's making it, SHBG locks it up. You can't access it. It's like having money in the bank, but your debit card is not working. So Maher's Men is designed to help free lock testosterone so your body can actually use it. There's no synthetics, there's no needles, just real ingredients that help optimize energy, focus, and strength. What's great about it is there's now stronger physical performance, fast recovery from the gym, more consistent, natural energy. It's not like drinking a cup of coffee. It's a steadier sense of drive throughout the day. Supports healthy T levels, energy, stamina. 8 natural clinically dosed ingredients, made in the USA, and it's third-party tested. There's a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk with that. So the worst case is you don't like it, and you get your money back. But over 91% of users report higher energy levels. Thousands of guys are feeling incredible results. Just check out the reviews on the website and go check it out yourself. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping, 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. Perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com. You get 50% off and 3 free gifts at the checkout. So you're going to purchase, and then they're going to say, hey, where'd you hear about us? You got to support our show, and you got to tell them that we sent you. Go check it out. Maher's Men.
My opinion changes when the information changes.
There you go. Right.
Yes, there was a time when the only actual contact we heard from about aliens was rural people who'd been abducted and anally probed.
Publicly.
But you don't hear about that anymore. Why? My guess is the aliens gathered all the information they needed about us that they could get through our ass.
I doubt that.
It's where I'd look. But now they seem to be on to another phase. They seem to want to be spotted. Why else this constant playing peekaboo with our military? And it's serious people now. Not hippies or hillbillies, serious people. People with Mike Pence's haircut.
That's great. It's hilarious. Poor Fravor. It's funny, though. It's hilarious.
Who are saying that they keep seeing things move through air and ocean in ways that defy our physics. Military pilots who say, yeah, I saw something doing Mach 10 and then it stopped on a dime and disappeared. That's not a drone. That's not something from an...
So I just did a video about Vice President Vance and talking about how he was interested in it. And how there were things that he wanted to know about. And I was like, if he had all the knowledge, and Bill Maher is a political commentator, but he's a comedian. He's a host of a television show. He has more information than Vance does right now. Like the fact that he's showing Fravor, the fact that he's showing Graves, the fact that he's talking about this in general and the way that he is. Now, this is all stuff that many of us have been talking about. You guys, some of you, way longer than me. But over the last 3 years, this is the constant stuff in the way that we were talking about it, right? This stuff with Graves and Fravor and all that didn't happen last month, 2 months ago. This was almost 3 years ago. It's because now there's more people talking about it, and there's more media coverage on it, and there's more heavily people involved in the way that I keep bringing up. Dan Farah, who's connected to Spielberg, who's connected to all these other people. Spielberg's movie will start the conversation even more when that movie comes out, fictional or not. And you'll start to see more of these types of takes from people. But this stuff he's talking about didn't just happen. He's like, they just started talking about it. Military people and government people have been discussing it for quite a while, actually. Even the first hearing wasn't even 2023, it was 2022. But the fact that he's talking about it in the way that he's talking about it, and the knowledge that he now has, this is a good thing for information out there. And I'm wondering, though, too, because he's in this phase in the way that I was when I kind of started to really dive into it deep, right? If information keeps getting teased in the way that it has, at least in the last like 3 years when I've been covering it, how fast before he gets frustrated? Like a lot of us have, right? But let's keep going with this.
Another country. Even Elon is like, not me. Now, the government's official public line is, we don't know what these things are. But in private, what they say is, no, seriously, we don't know what the fuck these things are.
Some, but that's true, but some.
But
Lockheed
they
Martin
didn't
does.
leak from a lab in China. That's why in 2022, Congress had historic first-of-its-kind hearings on what the Defense
You did say
Department
2022.
calls
Oh, look at him.
unidentified aerial phenomena,
Awesome.
formerly called UFOs, but don't dead name them. And again, it's not weirdos and beardos saying this. It's the guys with buzz cuts and security clearances who are spilling the tea. And
God, people are finally saying the same
who
shit we've been
you
saying,
don't
guys.
think are crazy people like Chuck Schumer, Harry Reid, Marco Rubio, Kirsten Gillibrand. They're not disputing it. Jimmy Carter said he saw a UFO. George W. Bush said, yeah,
But his
there are
dad,
secrets
went to what his
about
dad.
aliens, and no, I won't tell you.
Going to his dad. But-
Barack Obama recently made headlines when he said aliens, quote, are real, but I haven't seen them. Former Director of National Intelligence, General James Clapper, is on board, and our current Director of National Intelligence has indicated that she believes in the possibility of alien life. Also, that it illegally voted for Joe Biden in Georgia.
Okay. So what's funny about that, you know, when they mention, he's going over a lot of facts. He just mentioned the 2022 thing. He mentioned a lot of the things, again, that many of us in this community have been saying, that these are not just people behind a barn talking about this stuff anymore. People inside of Congress and everybody else talking about these things. And now with Bill Maher bringing it more to light, this is a good thing. I've never been a massive Bill Maher fan, to be honest. I've found him to be pretty smug. I found him to be pretty arrogant. I found him sometimes to like the sniff of his own farts, if you will. However, I admire him in the way that he's approaching this, and I've actually admired him over the last couple of years that he's been changing the way that he just kind of approaches things a little bit more. He's open-minded on both sides. I've become a little bit more of a Maher fan than I was, say, like 5-10 years ago. But that being said, what he's doing in the way that he's embracing this, in the way he's not just blindly saying things, he's presenting these facts and these things that we've all discussed inside of this community, that we've discussed, that these are the people that are now talking about this and these hearings that they've had, the follow-up from Obama. It is funny, though, that no one is talking about the follow-up from that comment where after there was so much pushback on it, he's like, no, what I meant was this. Nobody's buying that, and nobody's using it in the conversation when they talk about it. That's never brought up anymore because the host, Brian Tyler Cohen, I can't remember his name, but when he was interviewing and he's like, oh, everyone was giving him shit for the follow-up. He's like, no, it's meant the same thing that I thought he meant. Look what he said. No one's paying attention to that. Bill Maher certainly didn't even mention it at all because it led to Trump then saying, well, wait a minute. He said he can't talk about it. That's classified. Guess what? I'm going to release everything else. And I'm sure he's going to cover that too. But that let's get back in.
If you don't believe me now, you will in June when Steven Spielberg's movie called Disclosure Day comes out. This on the heels of the documentary from last year called Age of Disclosure. You get it? Disclosure? We're at the disclosure moment in human history. So can we cut the crap?
Hey, Bill, I feel like you're watching my stuff. I love it.
Get used to it.
Come on the show.
So if I may, I would now like to address the aliens directly in my capacity as the most rational person on Earth, which I'm sure they know.
He's playing goof on himself, which I dig too.
I'm sure they know everything about me. If they figured out intergalactic travel, I'm guessing they have.
See, that's what I don't think they have figured that out.
And so,
at all.
As the representative of all humans, the first thing I'd like to say to you is, hi. Please don't kill us, even though you could.
If they've been around for long enough, then they clearly are not going to be doing that.
Probably just by pushing a button, and I'm guessing you think about it every time you see Jake Paul's podcast. Look, we've seen you go from 0 to what the fuck was that in half a second. We get it. There's no sense trying to fight you. 2 years ago, one of our drones launched a Hellfire missile at a high-speed orb, and it hit it and just bounced off. First of all, I'd just like to offer an apology for that on behalf of all humans. That was our bad. That was dumb. And yes, we do have a lot of dumb people here. Assholes, hotheads, shitheads, manosphere morons, meatheads. And that's just the conservatives. Don't get me started on the woke.
See? And that's kind of that's my point, is he knows what he's doing now. And this is a smart thing for him to do. He's going after both. He goes after both sides. That's why I've been able to listen to him more now, that he goes after everybody. And like I've told you guys many times over, or maybe you know, maybe you don't know. I hate politics. I despise it. I despise what it's done to the world, more so. I know it's been around forever, but I just despise more so now, especially what it's done to this country, that there's two teams, that you're on the wrong team, you're on the right team, you're on the right team, you're on the wrong team. I hate it. And it's one of the reasons why we'll never get on the same page with this particular topic in general, and a lot of different topics. So I think that it's always good for me when I see people kind of going after everybody, because you hope it won't happen, but you hope that people will look and say, how ridiculous are we being? Look at what's really out there. Look at the things that are really out there, really happening right now, and what is actually possible for us to achieve. And we're caring about this? So I like when people make a goof on everybody. That to me makes it a lot. It sings to my point of view. Sorry. Back to the video.
So it certainly would be understandable if you decided we were just too stupid to live. It must be maddening studying us, because we are obviously capable of advancements that aren't completely embarrassing, like gene editing and cloud computing, but we're also idiots. We're the species that created the internet, but also the one that once broke it with this chick's ass.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on. You're going to be very mad at me. Hold on. Here you go. No, you'd be very mad at me if I let that. No, I apologize.
So I don't know what we can offer you. The stuff that we think makes living here great, I'm guessing you're way beyond sex and good food and getting fucked up. I doubt if you care about that stuff. Minerals, we got them. I don't know if that still interests you. You may be beyond them, or maybe ours are obsolete. Although, have you heard about clean coal? I kid. But yeah, I don't know what we have here for you. Climate, we think ours is pretty uniquely pleasant in the universe, but who knows what you have? But just so you know, ours has trillions of viruses in it, and that's what killed the aliens in War of the Worlds. Just pointing that out as a friend. Because I'd like to think we are friends. After all, if you wanted us dead, we'd be dead already.
Right.
Truth is, you may be here to save us, not kill us. In 1967, an Air Force captain and nuclear crew commander who were there revealed an incident when something unidentifiable hovered over Maelstrom Air Base in Montana, and then miraculously 10 nuclear weapons suddenly...
He should do a UAP podcast. I'm not even kidding you.
Was something about to go terribly wrong and you stepped in? Whatever it is, please do more shit like that.
Right. And like now. 100%. Get more involved in that shit.
Feel free to beat our swords into plowshares, because plainly we're not going to do it. Get us off oil. Get us off our phones. And AI, the father of AI, said
Unless
there was
it's
a
them.
10 to 20% chance of it being an extinction event. And yet we keep hurtling forward with it, as we do with global warming and the factory farming that causes pandemics. Look, it would be great if we could stop ourselves from self-destructive behavior, but the truth is,
that they've already
you
been
should
through
think
it.
of the human race as Britney Spears. It would be nice if we didn't need a conservatorship, but in reality, we really do.
Damn. And then the Britney shot. Okay, so there was tons there. As I mentioned, it is good that he's talking about it. There's good that, and as I mentioned beforehand, you'd say now, I think, again, 10 years ago, you'd say he probably was really leaning more super left. I think he's right in the middle now. That's why I kind of listen a little bit more now than I used to, because like I said, I think that there's a lot of bad done on both sides. And I think that there's something about being on, and there's, by the way, there's people on the left that are talking about this, that are discussing it intelligently. There are people in the middle that are talking about it intelligently. There are people on the right that are talking about it intelligently. It's one of the rare things inside of Congress that they're actually working on together. So it is one of those things that if more people can get involved and listen, and whoever your representative is in your information, whether it's Bill Maher, whether it's whoever, and you're getting more information like this, he hit a lot of the right facts. And again, these are things. This is when when we talked about this when Age of Disclosure came out. I said, there's nobody really, out of people who've been following this topic for a while, that you're going to go, oh wow, it just so much new stuff, crazy what they did. There were a lot of people, including myself, who were just like, okay, it was a good documentary that had people talking, and that's the main thing. It had people talking, and it got a lot of coverage because of who was involved. And that is why he's also right. We've said this too, that the Spielberg thing is going, it's not just about the movie itself. Because I know a lot of people are going to be saying, well, what's the Spielberg thing going to do? The Spielberg thing is a fictional movie. What is that going to do? It's the junkets leading up to it. It's the press. It's the conversations around it. It's a question of, is it actually a spin-off, or a sequel rather, to Close Encounters, which a lot of people inside of the community say is one of the more accurate information movies about UAPs because of who was involved. So is that still the same? Are there more people involved that were helping Spielberg out? Spielberg also talked about why he's doing this, what inspired him to do it, about the hearing, about the New York Times article, all of these things. Those conversations will continue to come up. That movie, Bill Maher will cover that. More people will be covering that movie. More people will be talking about that movie, and more questions will be asked. And then if it does well, I highly recommend people inside the community see it, because if it does well, it'll sheep mentality on how Hollywood works. They'll start making more of them, and they already have ones lined up, but they'll greenlight them more so and put them faster into production. It's just how it works. So what did you think of this speech? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Is it important of what Bill Maher is saying to get more people in the masses? Because now I'm going to go to the naysayers too, who are writing the bill. What I've always talked about in the past with, say that thing with Sean Kirkpatrick, when he wanted to make sure that Arrow and everybody else had all of their reporters that was going to tell their story, that we've never found any information, print that. And that was the information that came out, and they pushed us. That's what we're going to get to the public. They're going to see it. They're going to go, none of this is true. They're going to shut it all down, right? And it is powerful in that aspect, because when that article comes out to the regular person who's just turning on the TV, looking at the shows that they watch, reading the thing that they read, and they see that, they go, oh, well, the official government says bullshit, moving on, I don't believe it anymore. Same goes for this. Because you can be a naysayer and say, oh, but all that stuff was the stuff about the Tic Tac and the thing bouncing off the thing that was debunked. Doesn't matter to the people who are watching to Bill Maher. And again, I don't know if it's been debunked or not. My point is this. If they're watching Bill Maher and they see that, they're not listening in the same way that those people who read that Arrow thing weren't listening to the other stuff. And that article that came out about that thing that Bill Maher was talking about in the 60s when the nukes shut down, there was this whole article that was trying to debunk that. I think it was New York, might have been New York Times. It wasn't New York Times. Was it the Post? I can't remember. It was something, we covered it on the show. And then one of the guys who was there tweeted back out and said, wait a minute, that's not true. You never even talked to me about it. The damage was done inside of that because they weren't checking Twitter to see the response. So it's the same thing here, where Bill Maher's talking about it, and someone who's never heard about it this first time goes, oh, wow, well, what's that? That's factual right away. So it works both ways. I want to hear your thoughts. Put your thoughts in there. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. We'll be back. Got a lot of videos coming out. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. See you on the flip side. Bye.